Unemployment remains high across the country. It's worse for young people. But in Silicon Valley, it's a very different story. Intense competition for the best programmers, engineers, and social marketers. Well, here we're seeing big hiring from companies like Living Social, Google, and Skype. Now, joining me in the newsroom right here is Bloomberg contributing editor Paul Kedrosky to talk about the red-hot tech hiring binge. Paul, you write a blog, you write it for our Bloomberg website as well. Hiring technology in this area, really hot.
Beyond hot. I mean, it's as hot as, right now it's as hot as it was in 99, 98 for engineers. On the West Coast for engineers right now, I have never seen it this way except for back almost a decade ago now. And by hot, I mean there is this incredible appetite to give people what they want in terms of compensation, in terms of equity, in terms of some of the frills, you know, the foosball stuff, but also in terms of the aggression with which people are going out and trying to find top engineers. I've never seen anything quite like it.
But it's for engineering. I mean, I'm thinking of, I'm sitting here thinking that sounds great, but I'm thinking of all the people in this country who are in this horrible personal situation of unemployment. The guy that lives next to me is a tech guy. He's unemployed. He's been out of a job for a couple years. The guy lives across the street from me. He worked in the Numi factory where they were making cars. He's out of work for the last 6 months or so. There's a lot of unemployment in this country and in this area.
Right. And you look at even things like the financial services industry. There's jobs that went away in asset-backed securities and other sorts of exotic industries, all gone, not to come back. So this is a monoculture of employment that's happening on the West Coast with this very specific needs. In particular, if you have a sort of a mobile background and you're an engineer and you're reasonably productive, you can write your own ticket right now. If you're anything else, the employment market for you looks a lot like the employment market for everybody else.
Hey, Paul, in the break, I was talking with Will Price, who we just spoke with, and he said the war for talent is like an arms race in which only the U.S. and the Soviet Union can participate, those companies being Facebook and Google. Do you agree with that? And where does that leave the smaller startups like Twitter and Foursquare that really need great engineers to build their business?
No, I don't actually agree with that. I think the people who have problems recruiting right now are the people whose paper nobody wants. And the people whose paper no one wants are the large tech incumbents, the Microsofts, the Ciscos, and others. Look what Microsoft announced today. They announced massive pay increases and actually a cut in some of the stock-based compensation, burying it in salary instead because they can't compete. They don't have paper. They don't have the equity to offer new employees. Twitter, Zynga, Facebook, and so on. They have the paper, and it's the paper that sells the deal when you're recruiting right now.
How much are these engineers looking for? I mean, what do they want? What is it going to take to woo them?
So it splits. There's two kinds right now. There's the people who want security, and so what they want, they like the upside, but they want the cash security. So they want a decent ticket, $80,000 to $120,000 in cash, plus a little bit of upside. Then there's the other folks who tend to skew younger and predominantly male, and what they want is they have nothing, so they don't care. They just want a lottery ticket. They'll take lower base compensation, $40,000, $50,000 even as a software engineer, but they want a big ticket. They want a lot of equity, and in particular, they want to be able to trade it in the secondary market. They want to be able to get out of it when they want to, not when you tell them to.
So Emily and I had dinner with Steve Eskenazi, the venture capitalist, the other night, and he was saying it's the hottest employment market he's ever seen in Silicon Valley, including during the dot-com bubble. But as you mentioned, with a focus on engineers, are the engineers the canary in the coal mine? Are they telling us that there's a lot more to happen?
Oh, I mean, there's no question. By a lot more, you mean like we're at the
more hiring of other kinds of jobs, not just engineers.
Because you have to think of the engineers are the engine, right? They're the people who create the product. Then after we finish funding the product and getting all that work done, what do we got to do with it? We don't sit around and ogle it and pat it and caress it. We say we got to ship that and get it to paying customers. Well, who does that? Salespeople, marketing, biz dev. So this is the front end, right? We're revving up the engine, the product engine, and out the other end comes more hiring from.
That sounds logical. Have we seen this in the past where there's a lag, and is the timing lag any different than it used to be?
No, this is exactly what we've seen over the last 4 major tech cycles dating back to 1980. We do all the upfront work, the R&D, the development, the product engineering, product comes to market, and all of a sudden the next thing you're going to hear about that nobody can find, salespeople.
What about the TV reporters? Are we in high demand yet?
Salespeople.
Salespeople. I can't.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So, no, but that's where it is.
So what about as it spreads out around other regions around the world? That's definitely going on here in Silicon Valley. We're hearing about it all over the place. But is it happening in other tech regions around the country?
It is, but the difference is that in the Valley, you've got this incredible depth of engineering, so you can mine it and you can recruit here in ways you can't recruit anywhere else. So, for example,
which is to say, we've got unemployed engineers, though.
You've got unemployed engineers, but you can also steal them from other places. Put yourself in a position of, say, in another developed market. Let's pick on Canada, for example. Toronto's been I've been talking to those folks. They're looking at trying to do a bunch of stuff with some startups. The trouble that they have is they can't even steal from other companies. They don't have enough supply, and they can't steal from other companies. What they have to do is typically you seed something and then it comes south. So it's a big problem everywhere else. So this is an anomaly here. It's a bizarre anomaly.
Blame Canada. Got it. Paul, really appreciate it. Infectious Greed, fantastic blog. Glad to have you on the Bloomberg.com website as well.
Great to see you, my friend.
All right, Emily?